Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's been a little while. 12 Virus here. Today, I wanted to review the Mattel Obelisk, Raw, and Slifer. Uh, they are older figures, and each came with a Merrick for Raw, a Kaiba for Obelisk, and a Yugi for Slifer. And then, of course, not to be confused with the model kits, um, they are actual figures. And they each also came with a little mini manga, kind of a sneak peek thing. Of course, I only have the Obelisks manga because I ended up getting him new from eBay. He was like, I want to say close to $200, but I got them all from eBay because as a kid I had the obelisk and Kaiba. However, I ended up losing them by moving, but I did get Merrick by himself, single carded, because they decided to do like single carded versions of Merrick, Kaiba, and Yugi, so you can find them a whole lot easier on eBay than Raw, Slifer, and Obelisk. But anyways, that's a little bit of the backstory of it. So the only original figure I have of them that I didn't end up getting from eBay is this Merrick right here because I had gotten the single carded version. But anyways, the Slifer, Yugi, and Raw are all loose from eBay. Slifer, I think he was like 110. Luckily, I got lucky on that one. Raw was like $40 or $50, I believe. And then, of course, the Kaiba and Obelisk were like 200 around that for them sealed in the box still. The box is tore up, but I have it put up, but that don't really matter too much because I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the differences. Anyways, let's get into it. Enough rambling. So, Merrick, Yugi, and Kaiba all have the same articulation. I'll show you Yugi and Kaiba also, but whenever I show their respective god. But they just have a simple swivel at the arm, both sides, and then the heads, and then the waist also. They did pretty good on them. They actually look really nice. There is Merrick, Melvin, and then there is the winged dragon of Raw. And they are quite big. So, Raw, he has ball joints in his wings. So, if you're looking for him, look at his wings because you'll be able to tell if they have a ball or if they are swivels. So, the model, it has, I believe they're either swivels or they're just peg ports where they peg into the back of him. So he's the hardest to tell if it's a model or not. So that's something to look for. The balls in his back, and then also the model in the crotch area right there. There's a peg hole for a stand. So that's one, and then right there at the, I guess you could call it wrist of the paw, right there is an actual hinge on the model. On the figure version, it is not a hinge. He only has a hinge at the elbow. So anyways, let's go over the articulation a little bit. Hinge at the elbow, Well, this piece on the side can move. Arm can go all the way around. This piece back here, it can move as well. Head is on a ball, so it's got all kinds of articulation there. Well, not all kinds, but it's got a little bit up, down. And then the leg is on a ball as well. It can go all the way, kind of bumps into the wings and whatnot. And then he's got a hinge at the knee that can go back that much. He's got a little piece down here too that you can articulate. And then right there, back that much, forward that much. No hinge at the ankle there. And then swivel at the tail. Another swivel at the tail. And another swivel at the tail. So he's also more solid from what I can see of the model. And like I said, if you find him in the box, then of course you'll be able to tell, because if he's in the box, he comes with Merrick. And the box also says whether it's the model kit. And the model kit, of course, has no window or nothing. But anyways, let's pull up on eBay a picture of the model kit. So here is a picture of the model kit. And so if you notice, right there is his hinge on his wrist. So there is that. And then I'm not sure if this shows his wing or not. So you can see his wings, but he also looks more translucent in pictures. So there's his wings. If you notice, no ball joint there. So that's kind of how you can spot the difference. And it looks like there's numbers and stuff on the wings. Let's see if the non-model version has that. Yeah, it has some markings and writings on it. But it looks more solid in the ball joints, of course, and then the look for the no hinges there. So that is raw. Let me look up. For next, we will do obelisk, and then we will save slifer for last. Obelisk. So obelisk and slifer are a whole lot easier to tell the differences with. Let's get rid of raw and get rid of Merrick. And then we will pull in obelisk and Kaiba. And also each of them come with a dual disc, where I got I've had Merrick, and then Yugi I got loose. Yugi didn't come with a dual disc. Merrick, I lost his over time, but the dual disc kind of flips out, and then you can push the button and it'll snap it back and close it. So it's time to duel. There's the Kaiba. His hands are a completely different color than his face. I guess where his hands are, I'm guessing, are more than likely paint. And then his face was probably, his head was probably molded in that color. But they did a pretty good job with him as well. So that's pretty nice. Let him just fall somewhere. So, obelisk. Let me actually, I forgot to with raw. I'll bring raw back at the end. But here is Goku with obelisk, so you can tell kind of a size. The Figure Arts Goku, the newest version. There's so many different Gokus, so I'm sure you may have a Goku. So there's a good comparison. Obelisk is a good size. Actually, after this section, I'll go ahead and measure. There is the little manga that came with him. It is Kaiba dueling the computer to see what Obelisk's ability is. So that's pretty cool. Of course, that's the only one I have because the others I didn't get in the box. But Obelisk is way easier to tell that it's him because, as you can tell, he is standing upright at the moment. The model doesn't do that. He has ball joints on his shoulder pads. He has a ball joint at his neck. So, of course, he has a lot of really good articulation where he's more or less a figure as opposed to some type of dragon. He more has kind of more of a humanoid shape. His is really good, but I think Slifer's is probably still better or close to it. Anyways, his arm can go up that much, down. It can rotate all the way around. It has a little bit of a swivel up there. I don't know exactly what you would want to do with that, because of course the arm could rotate and where it's kind of at that angle, so it kind of defeats the purpose, but of course it's older, so it can be forgiven. Double jointed elbow for that much. He has a ball joint at the wrist, so you can do a lot with that. They really did pretty good with his articulation. And then he has a bit of an ab crunch to go down that much. Then it can come back up. And then he has his hips. He can kick out that far, which is kind of one of those odd systems again, but not too bad. And then he has a thigh swivel. And then he has a double bend knee at the elbow for that much. It's a little bit over 90. And then his feet are on balls as well. Now his wings are pegs, so they just peg in, which is the negative on him. He has no wing articulation, which would have been nice if they had been able to do balls like they did with Thralls, but at least he has enough articulation. And like I said, the model will be crouched, and it's way easier to tell because where he has so much articulation and so many joints, and the model has way less joints. Let me grab a tape real quick. So, Obelisk is about about 8 to the top of the crest, the kind of the blue gemstone, and then I'd say probably close to 9 to the top of the spike on his head, and then the top of his wings is about 9.5. So he's pretty good size. Alright, let's show from eBay. Show how the model looks. So, there is the model. As you can tell, there's a swivel at the elbow, no abs, and then the knees are fixed bent, and then it's like the wrists are swivels, the feet are swivels, whereas to him, you can see all the joints. Also, his arms up there are just swivels as well. So, night and day. It's way more plasticky, the model is as well. So, you can definitely tell the difference. Now, let's go ahead and search Slifer, since we will do Slifer next. And so, actually, there is a Slifer right now on eBay for $110, the Mattel version. I will kind of show that in case anybody is interested in trying to get it. The model is also $175 apparently, or $100 around that. So you could actually get the figure version for about as much as the model. At the moment, kicked my tape measure. Anyways, let's get Slifer up here. So Slifer is a menace. He is absolutely huge. See if I can kind of get him situated here. There we go. Nice. Very nice. And then Yugi, pop right there in the middle. Bring in our Figure Arts Goku for some size comparisons. He is a little bit taller than Yugi. Yugi, I think, would actually fit into Figure Arts scale. And then Slifer, of course, is towering. So, let's see. He could go to the top of this shelf that I'm reviewing on right now. So that's about 11 inches there. And then if we want to spread Slifer all the way out, I don't know if I'll be able to do this on camera or not. So spreading him all the way. So he's kind of in a hook thing unless I want to spin him. Alright, take him off camera. He is about 12 inches, like that, with the hook. But if I try to actually straighten his body out, he is oh goodness. Straightening his body, He is about 26 inches. Kind of show that a little bit. 26 inches. Which is insane. He could actually probably go more than that. But we'll call it about 26 stretched all the way out. At least for now. Someone can correct me if they want to, because he's freaking huge. So, for some articulation, he's got a ball in there, which allows look around, up, down that much. And then he's got a series of hinges. So right here at this neck, he can go like that, go like that. You can actually, it has a swivel to it, so you can actually swivel it like that, have him look down, up, and then you can swivel it back to normal. So of course it is colored on the hinge so that it blends in with the black, but if you don't mind, then you can swivel it and twist it and all that. He's got ball joints at the shoulders. Can rotate all the way around, and it just the arms. There's no other articulation than at the shoulder of it. And then his legs are the same, just at the shoulders, or the connection point of the legs, it's a ball. So all kinds of goodness to do. And then he's got, of course, that one hinge swivel up there for the neck. He's got one below his wing, so that's two. It does the same thing side to side. It can rotate for up and down. That's two. Then he's got another one here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's got 8 total. So he is pretty articulated. And pop his head off. Slifer causes the biggest mess, I believe, because he's so long and hard to deal with. Alright, Slifer. There we go. He's doing stuff. Goodness. Whew. Fine with Slifer. But anyway, so you see all those joints. There is the model one. The model has no joints at all. He may have some at the shoulders, but he has none down through there. They might be swivels, maybe. But he doesn't really do anything. The figure version, of course, you can see the pins and hinges all throughout his body. So if someone's selling one, then you can easily tell. And so the model version, of course, is just basically static. No posability at all. And then, so see right there, the model, this model anyways, is $175 and then $12 shipping. And then here is the figure version. It seems like I don't really see anything wrong with that one. Yeah, there he is getting measured. And that one is $110 on eBay, $6.50 shipping. And the seller is Mike 1968 Cougar. Just in case someone's looking for one. So whenever I'm looking for them, I always type in Yu-Gi-Oh! Mattel and then Slifer, Obelisk, or Raw, depending on which one I'm looking for, and that's how I end up finding them. But anyways, let's get Yu-Gi-Oh! Bring Merrick back to show some comparison with Goku, American Raw. Two best friends forever. Nice. So Raw looks a little bit shorter, and you can have him standing on his tail to make him seem larger. Because he's quite large, but he's not, if that makes sense. Obelisk and Slifer are way bigger compared to Raw. Yeah, I can't get him to balance right now. It'll be good. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, there's the size comparison for that. Pretty nice. And then measurement for Raw is he's about 6 inches, maybe 6.5 to the top of the highest point of his head. Now, top of the wings, that would be about 8. So he's good size. Anyways, guys, sorry this has been a long video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you stayed and watched the whole video, thank you very much, and I appreciate your support. Sorry, it's been a hot minute since I've been around. Hope you enjoyed this review. Merrick just died. Jeez Louise. Anyways, guys, thank you all for watching. Thanks for all the support. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the review. And hopefully I will talk to you guys again soon. This has been 12 Virus signing out.